Okay, it says, okay, just connected, and let's see. It takes a little time for it to filter over. Okay, it looks like it's working. You got it? It just popped up on me, but I might get it earlier. Okay, what do you want to go on live? A break? All right, just text me what time we'll be back. Okay, you got it. All right. All right, we are back. I'm Brian. You're listening to the Steve Kane Show. We're back live. We had a technical snafu. Tom Hanks and De Niro didn't send a team over here from Saturday Night Live's 50th to come and grab me. We just lost our internet connection, and that took us down live. So we are back live. I'm Brian. This is the Steve Kane Show. Every once in a while, we have to prove to you that we are live. And those of you that have been calling and ringing the phone off the hook, thank you so much. Because I can think of nothing worse than going off the air and no one noticing. So I do appreciate all. And I know I answered some of the phones, but not all of them because we were trying to get the technical thing worked out, which we did. So welcome back. Now, we were off the air for a little while, and I didn't know about it. And I went over some of the most amazing news stories during that period of time that I didn't know we were off the air. That I was in effect, really, in many ways, some of my most brilliant and important commentary was heard by me. And that's it. But I'm going to recap it because Elon Musk found something really amazing. Now, I also want to say, if you're on hold, stand by, because a lot of these people have been on hold for the better part of an hour, and some of them are probably, because we take the call screenless, are going to say, hey, what happened? You've been off the air. So we'll get a little bit of that. But I want to go through one of the things I went through off the air when I didn't know I was off the air, because Elon Musk has uncovered what really truly is the big story of the day. And, you know, the problem they have with Doge is that Elon Musk isn't just leading this incredible team. He's also got the number one platform for news and information that's ever existed with X. So what happens is Doge catches something, and then he posted on X. And the story that I'm going to share with you, I don't know if this is going to get any play on the television news, although it should be the top, quarter, and bottom of the hour all day long, because Elon Musk has produced a document that just made me physically ill. Now, I don't know if any of it went out on the air or not, but I'm going to go through the whole thing again. Now, Mike, I want to take this break on time. I know we've been on, so we can regroup and be on schedule for the rest of the show. So we're going to take a break in a moment, and when we get back, I'm going to jump right into this new Elon Musk document that he dropped, which is huge. In fact, it's so big, and I'm not exaggerating or hyping this up. I'm not. This is so big and scandalous, the television news are going to do everything they can to not cover it. My guess would be there'll be some who will, but it's not going to become the topic of the day probably, although it should. And what I'm about to share, I did tweet this. Everyone should retweet this. Elon Musk tweeted it too, so it's reached everybody. But if everybody retweets this and tags people in the media, you very well may embarrass them into doing it. So, Mike, let's take this last break of the second hour on time so we can be on schedule for the next, up until 9 o'clock. It's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll be right back. All right, we are back. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. Everything is fine and dandy now. Call us on hold, stand by. Okay, so Elon Musk has been really breaking a lot of news out of Doge the last couple weeks. And all the people in the fake news media, they keep saying, well, where's the documents? Where's the documents? Well, he released a document on X, and this will blow your mind. He has the numbers from the Social Security database of everyone by age bracket who's receiving Social Security benefits each month in this country. And it starts at the age of 0 to 9. You know, because this includes people that are also receiving Social Security disability benefits or survivor benefits at different age. There's all kinds of reasons why people get Social Security before 65. I guess you can get it younger than 65, but but I'm going to tell you the brackets before that just quickly, and then we're going to get into the brackets of people that are in Social Security age for real and above. And this is insane. Now, Barbara from Baltimore had called the other day, last week, called a couple times, and she suspected all these people were cousins and stuff and great-grandkids of people in the Blue Ridge Mountains. No, there's too many. So the first bracket is from birth to 9 years of age. There's 38,800,000 plus between 0 and 9 receiving Social Security. Then it's 10 to 19 years of age. Then 20 to 29 years of age. Then 30 to 39 years of age. There's 52,106,000 between the ages of 30 and 39 receiving Social Security benefits. Now, of course, a lot of this Social Security disability and things. The next bracket is 40 to 49. He has the numbers of people in all these brackets that are receiving benefits, but these aren't important. We'll get to the ones that are in a moment. Between the ages of 50 and 59, there's 45,740,805 receiving Social Security. Okay, now the next bracket is 60 to 69. And we are not even halfway through the age brackets of people receiving Social Security benefits that Elon Musk uncovered and released in this document. But 60 to 69 is the first bracket where people are of age to receive Social Security benefits. Okay, so listen to this. I'm going to give you the numbers from this point forward, but we're not even halfway through it yet. And this is an official document that Elon got through Doge and his work there from the Social Security database of those receiving Social Security benefits. Between the ages of 60 and 69 years of age, 46,381,000 are receiving Social Security benefits. 46.3 million. From the ages of 70 to 79 years of age, it's 33.4 million are receiving Social Security benefits between the ages of 70 and 79 years of age. Between 80 and 89, 15.1 million. Between the ages of 80 and 89, 15.1 million people are receiving Social Security benefits. Between the ages of 90 and 99, 6,054,000 are receiving Social Security benefits. Between the ages of 100 and 109, 4.7 million are receiving Social Security benefits. Now, next, we're going to go to 110 to 119. And this is the last bracket where there could the slightest possibility of anyone still being alive. But you know, what is the oldest person that you've ever personally met or had in your family? I don't think I've had anyone in my family live past their 90s that I've known in my lifetime. And I don't think I've met anyone personally that was 100 years old or more, that was alive, right? Like if my grandparents were still alive, some of them would be over that, but you know what I mean? So between the ages of 100 and 109 years of age, 4,734,407 are receiving Social Security benefits between ages 100 and 109, 4.7 million. Between 110 and 119, 3,627,007 are receiving Social Security benefits. So between 110 and 119 years of age, 3.6 million are receiving Social Security. I don't see how anyone could be older than 119. Okay? The oldest, I think, it's got to. I've heard of people getting like 112, but I don't even know if I trust that because a lot of these people have no birth certificates. But there's no way that there's anyone in America that's over the age of 119 years of age. And I'm going to tell you something. We are at about the halfway mark of the age brackets at 109. The next bracket is 100. Okay, no, I'm sorry, 119. 110 to 119 years of age, 3.6 million. Now, it's possible there are people alive between 110 and 119, although not many, but it's possible. The next one's impossible. Between the ages of 120 and 129 years of age, think about this, between the ages of 120 and 129 years of age, 3,472,849 are receiving Social Security benefits. So you round that, it's 3.5 million. Between the ages of 130 and 139 years of age, 3.9 million are receiving Social Security benefits. Between the ages, this Elon Musk put this document out. This is a document of age brackets of people receiving Social Security. Between the ages of 140 and 149 years of age, 3.5 million are receiving Social Security benefits. Between the ages of 150 years old and 159 years old, 1,345,083 are receiving Social Security. I'm not making this up. This is crazy. Between the ages of 160 years old and 169 years old, 121,807 people are receiving Social Security benefits. Between the ages of 170 and 179 years old, 6,087 are receiving benefits. Between the ages of 180 and 189 years of age, 695 are receiving Social Security benefits. Between the ages of 190 and 199, 448 are receiving Social Security benefits. Numbers going down a little bit. We're not done. Wait till you hear the final number. Between the ages of 200 years old and 209 years old, 879 people are receiving Social Security benefits. Between the age of 210 years old and 219 years of age, 866 people are receiving Social Security. Between the ages of 220 and 229 years old, 1,039 are receiving Social Security. The fraudster must have been going pretty strong that did those, because there's a lot more that year. It spiked up. There's two more categories. Between the ages of 240 and 249 years of age, one person is receiving Social Security. Then it jumps up. The next bracket, again, this is an official document that Elon Musk found through Doge from the Social Security database. This is a document from Social Security that shows the age brackets and how many in each age bracket are receiving Social Security. That's what I'm reading from. I posted this on my X. Elon posted it too. The final one is this. Between the ages of 360 years old and 369 years old, one person is receiving Social Security benefits. I know, it's insane. It's insane. I don't know if I've ever read a list on the show like that before. So, obviously, there could be people in the middle of the list between 110 and 119 that are still alive, but not not 3.6 million of them. So who's getting these checks? Where are these checks going? Are they being direct deposited? Or do they mail out checks anymore? Is someone spending this money? And the way that you would do this, I mean, hey, listen, Doge are geniuses. I'm not a genius. They know how to get to the bottom of this. You start from the oldest. The one person that's receiving Social Security between the ages of 360 and 369. And then you go to the second, which is between the ages of 240 years old and 249 years old. And then you find out where those checks are going and who these people are. And then you work back because the numbers between the ages of 170 and 369 years of age, there's 6, 7, maybe 10,000 people in those age brackets. So you have a smaller number. So you start there. You can find out where the money's going and if it's been spent. Maybe there's been checks mailed out that no one's been using for all these years, but I doubt it. This is crazy. This is absolutely insane. And there's some other scandals that have come out of Doge over the weekend. But to me, this is the biggest. And, this White House press corps have an opportunity like there's never been before to uncover the biggest story, the biggest financial scandal in the history of humanity, and the biggest political scandal in the history of our nation, if not the world. It's this and all the other spending, but this one's easier than all of them. And any reporter from these national outlets in D.C. could go to Carolyn Levitt and say, "Hey, I'm the correspondent from Fox News. Okay, can you attach me to the Doge team and let's find these people that are over 200 years old? Can we find this person who is between 360 and 369? Let's track down and find." And they would do it. They would go with you and track down these people. Now, I want to ask you this question, and if you're on hold, stand by. After the top of the hour, I'll go to the phones, okay? Have you seen this on television? This dropped yesterday, okay? This dropped yesterday. Now, I didn't lead with it because I had some other things I wanted to do, and then we had some technical problems that knocked us off the air live. I went through this at the top of the hour in the first segment, but then we had our technical issues, so I went over it a second time with you just now so everyone could hear it, because I'm the only one that heard it the first time. At least I think. Maybe you heard some of it. I don't know. Have you seen this in any television news, any of the so-called mainstream news? And let me ask you, have you ever seen a document from the United States government that was as scandalous as this? I don't think I have. And I know that's saying a lot, okay? And I know people will say, well, the JFK files. I don't expect much in the JFK files because the criminals that did all of that, they didn't document it. And if there was anything incriminating, most, if not all of the incriminating things with the Kennedy assassination probably have been destroyed over the years with the deep state. But this is different because it involves sending out money. So there has to be records of this, and we have it. I think you would be hard pressed to find a government document from the United States government that is as scandalous as this. Okay, we'll take our break for the top, and when we get back, I will take calls. I want to hear your thoughts on this. And this is an official document from the Social Security database that Doge uncovered. Elon Musk posted it on X. He tweeted it, and I retweeted his tweet. So you can find it on Elon or my X, Brian Craig Show on X. You should follow me there anyway. And retweet that and tag every member of the media that you know of. If I had a team like some of these people do, like at Breitbart or something, I'd be all over this. I would lead a team to find these people. It'd be a fascinating story. Is this direct deposited? Are they sending out checks? Have they gotten the raises when Social Security does those increases? Or are checks not being opened? And is there a bank account filled with lots of money? It's the Steve Kane Show. We'll be back with the third hour after this. It's insane. If you're on hold, stand by. Hey guys, okay, everything is good to go, and we are back on, and everything's good. I mean, I'm going to go to the phones when we get back, but that is crazy stuff. It doesn't get crazier. It really doesn't. Okay, we'll be back in about 45 seconds. If you're watching there, that's the document on the screen. I've never seen anything like that before. And I don't think many people have. Look at that. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. You're listening to The Steve Kane Show. It is Monday, and I broke what is the biggest financial and government scandal in history. If you missed the last segment, you missed a lot. It's crazy, and I'm just going to go to the phones. I know a lot of you have been holding on for a long time, and I haven't even scratched the surface with what's happened since I went to bed last night, but this is the biggest. All right, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right, once, twice. All right, we tried. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
It's crazy. And
yeah, okay. This is one of those days, guys. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, good morning, Brian. Chris from Papa.
Hey, Chris. Oh my goodness, crazy stuff, huh?
It's very, very scary, Brian. And I've got a little history on that. When I first got out of the Marine Corps, they asked me about, which department I thought spent the most money. I said, okay, that's easy. The military, equipment and everything. And when they said Social Security, I said, well, wait a second. That's scary because you're talking about an average age of, let's say, 65 to 95, even though back then the average lifespan wasn't as good as it is today. But the scariest number, and before I say that, I'll say automatically I would shut off all the money going to anybody over 120. That's ridiculous. You shut it off and make them come in, hey, my money stopped. Well, what's happening, and you find out who these people are. So
you got to wonder, there are people as old as between 360 and 369 years of age receiving Social Security benefits, right? And you got to wonder how many people are receiving government pensions, or you mentioned you were in the military, or military pensions, right? And all this talk last night. I'm sorry, last week, not last night. All this talk last night about that mountain where they have Iron Mountain, where they have all the government retirement stuff, and it's so out of date. I think we know why it's so out of date now. They want to make it very difficult to get a hold of government retirement records, so they keep government retirement records in this 80-year-old style fashion. I bet you the government pensions of all kinds, military and civilian pensions, are reflect this. We may have Civil War soldiers getting pensions.
Wow. Yeah, that's unbelievable. So you just automatically got to go in and just cut off from 120 up, and then the buck stops right there. But that scariest number is the group that's what are you gonna say? Otherwise lazy. Those between 30-something and 50.
Well, some of that is Social Security disability. So what would be my guess?
I had a coworker. I said coworker, guy that worked with me. His son was 21 years old.
Well, I don't want to get into that because everybody's got a story. But when we have tens of millions over the age of 120 years of age that are receiving Social Security, that's not even up for debate. Those people don't exist.
Well,
hey, listen, I appreciate I do appreciate the call though. I have seen a lot of crazy things in my time, but this is the biggest so far as being documented. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Steve from Staten Island.
Hey, Steve.
I do. The thing is, this proves the fact why we got, or Trump got Elon Musk to expose the spending of what these Democrats have. I mean, all these stupid 100,000 million here, 100 million here. This is why they got. They didn't get. What do you call it? You'd say elected him. He just helped.
Listen,
Trump
there's about
Democrats.
there are around 10 million, close to. I can't add this up in my head, and I'm not going to do a calculation live on the air because that would be boring. But there's close to 10 million people that are 120 years of age and above, the oldest being between 360 and 369 years of age, that are receiving Social Security benefits. So what happens, and this is what I was talking about with Chris, when you've got something like that, I mean, how old is the oldest person that's alive in America?
Oh, well, one was actually passed away at 104.
104. Yeah, I mean, so you start at the highest number, the 369-year-old person, okay? You go and you trace. It's easy because the numbers are smaller. You start tracing the money immediately from the oldest person, working your way back. And by the way, thanks for the call. And that doesn't mean that you ignore all the other work that Doge is doing. I'm not saying Doge should stop they got to stop what they're doing, but what we got here is the smoking gun. This is the Zapruder film in 4K perfect high definition. Okay? What this document would be the equivalent is if you had a drone shot over Dealey Plaza, okay, when Kennedy was shot, in perfect 4K resolution, and then every question was answered. This puts a spotlight in pristine Technicolor HD 5K, 8K, whatever the highest K is that's ever existed. This document is the most damning document ever found about the federal government, and we know that it's just the beginning. So when you are doing something, like Doge and like President Trump's doing, there's so many balls in the air. We've been talking about a lot the last few weeks. The media can't keep up. You don't stop Doge what they're doing. You have them keep doing what they're doing, but you put together a special investigative unit that's incredibly public, led by a top person that has, I don't know who you would put in charge of this with Elon, but you put together an immediate investigation unit with federal agents that you can trust. In fact, Kash Patel should be confirmed today, and he could lead it. You put Kash Patel, he puts together a dozen guys that he trusts. They get together with Elon, and they start going to where these checks are being sent or where they're being deposited and trace them down. And you do it on video so that everyone can see every step of the way. This would expose everything to a level we could never even imagine. And this is probably why so often you keep hearing Democrats talk about the Social Security lockbox. Oh, you don't want to can't touch Social Security, can't touch Social Security. Now we know why you can't touch Social Security. Because this is the biggest fraud that's ever been documented in the history of the United States. I'm not saying this is the worst thing that the country has ever been involved in, okay? This is the worst. Like I give an example. Like you may say, well, WMDs in Iraq were a bigger deal. You can't document, like, to this degree that it's true that there were not documents. We can assume that because they didn't find any WMDs. Some say they when this was first came up, they said, well, we have intelligence that says they took them to Syria. You know, you can't document it like this. This is something that is factual documentation from the Social Security office itself. There's never been a document that exposed the U.S. government corruption or lies like this. Okay? So, all right, so let's take some more calls. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, hi there. This is Diana from Brevard County.
Hey.
Hi. I'm watching this in fascination. I came in a little late. Are you 100% sure this is not the age range demographics of the population?
There's somebody.
Because
So you mean to tell me that there's 1,039 people alive in America that are between the ages of 220 and 229?
Brian, you're preaching to the choir, but my point is.
No, Elon Musk posted this on Elon Musk. Doge found this, and Elon Musk posted this, and he says this is the age brackets of those receiving Social Security benefits.
Okay, so what I am going to say is that, yes, people 150 years old are a problem, but that's the least of the problems, because I did do a calculation, and the numbers that you're showing on the screen, they add up to 398,426,000 people. Now, I'm on a website called Statista.com, and as of 2023, our entire population was estimated to be 334 million.
This is what Elon. I don't want to start going through a bunch of numbers because it gets confusing. Elon Musk said, this is what Elon Musk wrote on X when he posted this.
Okay.
According to the Social Security database, these are the numbers of people in each age bracket with the debt field set to false. Maybe Twilight is real. The vampire movies. Remember Twilight, the vampire movies?
Yeah.
Maybe Twilight is real, and there are a lot of vampires collecting Social Security. So I didn't even go through the younger brackets. These are people collecting.
Well, I know you said you didn't want to go through the numbers and you want
No, that's boring. Call
but,
Joyce Kaufman and bore her listener with that. Singular. Notice the joke is this listener, not listeners.
In the 0 to 9 age range.
All right. I'm not going to go through numbers with people, okay? We're not going to sit here and talk. I don't care what about 0. I care about 130 and above. 130 and above. You're on the air. Oh, hold on, let me take this call. All right, you're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Oh, your show called me back for some reason.
Oh, no, it did not. We did not calling you back. I didn't hang up on you. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello, Brian?
Yes?
Yes, good morning. This is Lenny from Coconut Creek.
Yeah, Lenny, you're
How
on
you
the
doing?
air. I'm doing all right.
Well, it's been crazy. I know you're crazy with, the internet and everything. I try getting, calling in like earlier.
All right, well, you're on now. What's on your mind?
Ryan, you're absolutely right. 100% that, I don't think anything like this has ever happened in the history,
No.
of the United States. Listen, I'm 71, so I fall in the category of 33.5 million. But when what Musk has brought out is absolute. There's no words for this, and honestly, what Musk.
The oldest, I mean, they may find someone who claims to be 120 something. I'm always suspect of those people because they really don't have birth certificates and all this stuff, and it's sketch. But there's certainly no one alive over the age of 130. Okay, and there's about 10 million over the from 130 above on their database list.
Come on, that's good.
Now it is possible that vampires do exist, like Elon suggests.
Yeah,
and they're immortal.
Really.
But yeah, I mean, this is an insane document.
But nobody's talking about it, Brian.
I'm somebody. You're somebody.
Yeah, well,
And Elon Musk reaches millions of people. He posted that on his platform X. Tens of millions of people have seen this already. And by the end of 20 million have seen this already just on Elon Musk's post. Just 20 million.
Listen, Musk has now opened not only Pandora's box, but this thing is gonna break out, and I'm confident once, like you said, once other networks or other shows like yourself puts it out.
Yeah, listen, I got to run. I'm a little late, but good to talk to you. All right, listen, we're going to take our break. It's the Steve Kane Show, 17 minutes after the hour. I'm Brian Craig. We'll be right back. Okay, stand by. We'll be back shortly. No, it's getting crazy. It's getting nuts. 10 seconds. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest running radio show. Here it is. It's Monday. Were you a little active over the weekend? You sore? You in pain? Go see Dr. Appleton and say bye-bye to your pain, like I've done 7 times. You know, since I met Dr. Appleton, I'm a lot more active than I used to be because, well, honestly, I told this to Dr. Appleton, you know, I'm not as careful as I was because when I get hurt, I'm in pain, I just go see Dr. Appleton. You know, his laser wave pain treatment repairs the damage that's causing the pain. It works on so many different types of pain. This is a very incomplete list of the list of pains I have, but these are some bad ones. Arthritis. I had arthritis. That's what he treated me for in my hand. Bronchial neuralgia. Bursitis. Hip pain. Knee pain. Lumbar pain. Muscular contraction. Sciatica. Strains and sprains. Tinnitus. Tennis elbow. Neck pain. Stenosis. If you're in pain, you don't have to be. You know, with the laser wave pain treatment, there's no drugs, no shots, no injections, no downtime. Dr. Appleton performs all the treatments himself. And by the way, it is completely not only painless, you don't even feel it when you're having the treatment done. It's amazing. And oh yeah, the best part, it works. And appointments are not necessary. Walk-ins are welcome with Dr. Appleton, even on Saturdays. Here's his number, 954-973-0710. 954-973-0710. That's 954-973-0710. And online, AppletonCairo.com. Okay, so this is a huge story. Let me know if you see that anywhere on television. Now, this one of the judges that's been stopping Doge, Judge McConnell, he stopped the spending freeze that Trump put in. Turns out he's received over $100 million in government funding for his NGO, non-governmental organization. This is in the Gateway Pundit. Judge McConnell, listen to this. Judge McConnell's organization has received $117.6 million in government funding in total, ending in 2023. Now, I don't know if the funding ended in 2023 or if that is the last records that have been reported. My guess is since we're at the beginning of 2025, the 24 numbers haven't come in, so he could still even be receiving money still. Maybe it was cut off when Trump, maybe so he was trying to save his own income. We don't know. Judge McConnell's organization has received $117.6 million in government funding ending in 2023. This is the Gateway Pundit I'm reading from. Maybe that's why he wanted the money to keep flowing. He's expecting several more million this year. Oh, my goodness. So, expecting. The Gateway Pundit reported, this is the judge who called President Trump a tyrant, okay? And he once referred to racism as a white people problem. In a bombshell revelation, America First Legal has uncovered damning evidence that federal judge Jack McConnell, the Rhode Island judge, see, this is the guy I was telling you about last week. I had that article from Politico in 2010 that was suggesting that over $700,000 in political donations he made may have gotten him the seat. Remember that one? It's the same judge. Okay. American First Legal has uncovered damning evidence that federal judge Jack McConnell, the Rhode Island judge who halted President Trump's temporary spending freeze, has been deeply entrenched in a taxpayer-funded nonprofit, receiving over $128 million in government funding during his tenure. They're calling on him to recuse himself. Judge McConnell has long been associated with Crossroads, Rhode Island, a so-called nonprofit organization that rakes in millions in government funds under the guise of social programs. According to America First Legal's investigation, Judge McConnell has served on Crossroads Board of Directors since '06, including a decade-long stint as its chair, even after taking a seat on the federal bench. In 2013, the judge continued to appear as director on the NGO's tax filing forms. So they got this guy red-handed. My goodness. All right. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? All right. Once, twice. All right. If you're on hold, stand by. After the bottom of the hour, I told you a lot has happened, and we had issues, okay, this morning. There's another big story that I haven't even gotten to yet that I'm going to cover when we get back from the bottom of the hour break. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Oh, we'll try this one. All right, one more. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. Good morning. It's Tom from Florida. How you doing there?
I'm doing okay. How are you doing there?
Okay, well, that pause. I'm worried about you. Listen, bud. I got to ask you a question. These Doge bags, right? Or Doge crew, whatever they are. I just got to ask you a quick question. You're being so hypocritical about judges making money and all that stuff. As soon as Trump turned president, he was one of the richest men in the world. So why don't you criticize him and how the way he makes his money?
Okay, this judge very specifically ruled that Trump could no longer cut the spending to the NGOs, right? From the USAID. Then they find out. Excuse me. I don't care what you asked. You don't know what you asked. Yeah. Okay, you don't even understand what you're saying.
I asked you
what you're doing. You didn't ask. You're trying to divert. Now we find out the judge now we find out that the judge who cut off Trump's order of stopping to give money to these NGOs has one himself that received over $100 million. Trump did not make his money. Trump didn't make his. All right, thank you very much. Come on, what am I supposed to do? Trump didn't make his money from government handouts, okay? Hotel rooms, golf clubs, things like that, okay? That's how he made his money. All right, we're going to take our break for the bottom of the hour, and I got another story we're going to touch on when we get back. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show, Florida's longest-running radio show. We'll be right back after this. And look, they've got the documents of the judge. We'll be back in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, guys. Back in just over a minute. Welcome. If you're new, my name's Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I mean, how is this judge not being arrested? Pam Bondi should be all over this. I'm sure she knows about it. Believe me. Maybe they're waiting for Kash Patel to get confirmed. I don't know. Less than a minute. We'll be back live. If you want to call in, the number is pinned in the live chat. I know, it's insane. About 30 seconds. We'll be back. Okay. Welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian Craig. It's the Steve Kane Show. I mean, it's just incredible. We've got people over 300 years old getting Social Security, and now we find out the judge, the federal judge from Rhode Island that we talked about so much last week, the big dim donor that stopped Trump from shutting down the government spending, is received over $100 million for his NGO. What, does everybody have an NGO in D.C.? Do they all have their own little NGOs? I never really heard that term used so much before. And then with the border crisis that Biden, Invasion USA that Biden was behind, we started hearing about NGOs every 3 minutes. Never seen anything like this. Now, I was talking in the first hour, and there's an update on this, about J.D. Vance at the Munich conference speech, which was an amazing speech that he gave. I have never paid attention to the speech a vice president has given before. In fact, I missed JD's originally. I didn't watch it live. I don't even know if it was carried live, but then my Twitter X was blowing up with stories of these Europeans that were having meltdowns over. So I said, this is good. So I went back and watched it. And it's 18 minutes and 59 seconds long. And it is the most relevant, historic speech that any vice president of the United States has ever given. In fact, that speech of J.D. Vance's at the Munich conference very well could be remembered 200 years from now, when some of these people will still be getting their Social Security from that list that Elon released. So, I know it's insane what's going on here. It's freaking insane. I know the liberals with their egg prices, they're talking about it. There's a new grocery store in Boca. It's a new Whole Foods, and I went in there yesterday. They didn't have any eggs. How's it Trump's fault that there's an egg shortage? I don't quite understand that. It's like Tom and the numbers lady earlier. What they're trying to do is distract you. Yeah, but what about the eggs? You kidding me? I'm not worried about the eggs, okay? But just to recap, and then I'll give you the update with J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance's speech, the way to describe it, not just a speech, but the way it was a roast of Europe. And this was definitely a speech that was put together with the president and everybody else. That speech was not an accident. It wasn't something that J.D. just came up with. It was something that was crafted as the beginnings of a new policy from the Trump administration, from the United States. And to sum up that 19-minute speech, 18 minutes and 59 seconds at the Munich conference, J.D. Vance, he went through all the violations they have of freedoms, freedom of speech and other things. Okay? And what J.D. Vance said is, what are we allied against? He said in the past, when we were allied, NATO, says we were allies in 2 world wars, stopping fascism, and then NATO, we were united, we were allied against Soviet aggression to stop communism, to preserve democracy, capitalism. But what shared mission do we have now? What are we allied together against? And we've gotten so far away from one another that you cannot even think of anything. And what that speech was of J.D. Vance's, I believe, was President Trump's first step in leaving NATO. I think he wants out of NATO. It serves no purpose, okay? Now, there's some sound bites that go to this that I want to share. The first one is one that's going very viral for the last about 24 hours. Marco Rubio was on Face the Nation with Margaret Brennan. And Margaret Brennan is, she's, I'm about as white as you can get. She's whiter than me. She's married to a Syrian American Muslim man. She went to, when she went to college, she took Middle Eastern Studies, Margaret Brennan, and she learned to speak Arabic while she was in college, and now she's married to a Syrian American Muslim man. So, what's happened to Margaret Brennan is she's not American in her heart and mind. She's a foreigner in her heart and mind, okay? Because she's, this Muslim guy, and she's all into Muslims, and she speaks it and everything else. I wouldn't be surprised if she's a Muslim herself. I don't know that she is, but it wouldn't surprise me. So her worldview, Margaret Brennan from CBS News' Face the Nation, she doesn't view the world from an American perspective. Margaret Brennan views the world from a foreigner's perspective, in particular a Muslim Middle Eastern perspective. And they don't even understand this country, okay? People with that viewpoint. And I remember she was the White House correspondent for CBS News when Obama was president. And I watched Obama's final press conference in the briefing room as president. She was in the front row glowing. And I thought she just had the hots for Obama. And maybe she did. But what that was really about is the Muslim thing. So when J.D. Vance was in Munich, Germany, and was reading the Riot Act to the Germans and the rest of Europe for suppressing free speech in their countries, in Germany in particular, because that's where he was, Margaret Brennan had Marco Rubio on, and she said something so stupid. I can't believe she's on television. Listen.
Well, he was standing in a country where free speech was weaponized to conduct a genocide. And he met with the head of a political party that has far-right views.
Now notice with these leftist lunatics like Margaret Brennan, any political group they don't like is always far-right. If you go so far to the right, you're back on the left. So maybe they're extreme left. But anyway, back to what she says here.
Far-right views and some historic ties to extreme groups. The context of that was changing the tone of it. And you know that the censorship was specifically about the right.
No, I have to disagree with you. Free speech was not used to conduct a genocide. The genocide was conducted by an authoritarian Nazi regime that happened to also be genocidal because they hated Jews and they hated minorities and they hated those that they had a list of people they hated, but primarily the Jews. There was no free speech in Nazi Germany. There was none. There was also no opposition in Nazi Germany. They were a sole and only party that governed that country. So that's not an accurate reflection of history.
Okay, so Margaret Brennan, I don't know if she learned this when she was studying Middle East studies at the college, or she learned this at CBS News, or from her Syrian American husband. I don't know. But she said on CBS, this is one of the most offensive things I've ever heard. She said free speech led to the Holocaust. And there was not free speech in pre-Nazi Germany. If you remember the beer hall push, Hitler and top Nazis for a short time went to prison. Okay? But that's her reality. When I tell you that Margaret Brennan, whiter than me, which is hard to be, okay? And we're probably just as white, but I live in Florida, the Sunshine State, so I get a little sun. So I'm a little darker than her. She lives up north. So we're probably equally as white. And I can say this because I'm a cracker. But even though she's looks like the all-American white girl, she's not. This is what the left, this is what the media, this is their viewpoint. This is why when the laptop story gets dropped on Twitter, not only do they suppress it, but the media supports its suppression, except the New York Post, because they think free speech led to the Holocaust. This is what these lunatics learn. And this is what they believe. So then, 60 Minutes did a piece last night. Did you see this? About free speech in Germany. Now, I understand because Germany lost the war. So, they do have laws against Holocaust denial and the Nazi Party and the Nazi flag and its symbolism. And I understand that. I'm fine with that. In Germany, they lost the war and that was their punishment. Okay? But they've taken it to the extreme. Listen to this. This is 60 Minutes. They do a story on an arrest. This is a free speech arrest. In Germany, you can be arrested for offending someone online or in person. And here's a news crew following German armed police arresting someone for the crime of offending another.
The criticism that, this feels like the surveillance that Germany conducted 80 years ago. How do you respond to that?
There is no surveillance.
Josephine Ballon is a CEO of Hate Aid, a Berlin-based human rights organization.
Hate Aid. Can you imagine? They have an organization called Hate Aid.
Ballon is a CEO of Hate Aid, a Berlin-based human rights organization that supports victims of online violence. In the United States, a lot of people look at this and say, this is restricting free speech. It's a threat to democracy.
Free speech needs boundaries. And in the case of Germany, these boundaries are part of our constitution.
Okay, free speech needs boundaries. Now they're lecturing us on the left from the grandchildren and great-grandchildren of Nazis who believe that free speech needs limitations. No, it doesn't. And we don't need to be allied with a country that believes that. And a lot of these Germans also have been infected with, the East German Soviet Union bloc poison too.
To democracy.
Free speech needs boundaries. And in the case of Germany, these boundaries are part of our constitution. Without boundaries, a very small group of people can rely on endless freedom to say anything that they want, while everyone else is scared and intimidated.
And your fear is that if people are freely attacked online, that they'll withdraw from the discussion.
This is not only a fear, it's already taking place. Already half of the internet users in Germany are afraid to express their political opinion, and they rarely participate in public debates online anymore.
Okay, now here are some of their prosecutors. This was 60 Minutes last night. Listen, this insane.
Is it a crime to insult somebody in public?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So Tom, at the bottom of the hour, he and I both, according to Germany's laws, we're criminals. We insulted each other.
Is it a crime to insult somebody in public?
Yes.
It is.
And it's a crime to insult them online as well?
Yes.
The fine could be even higher if you insult someone in the internet.
Why?
Because in internet, it stays there.
Okay, so what does an insult mean? This is what I was talking with this caller earlier. My Make America Great Again hat. A lot of people would find that insulting. Right? So am I committing a crime in Germany with a MAGA hat on? If somebody feels who's to decide what a real insult is and feeling insulted?
If we are talking here face to face, you insult me, I insult you, okay, finish. But if you're in the internet, if I insult you or a politician...
That sticks around forever.
Yeah.
The prosecutors explain German law also prohibits the spread of malicious gossip, violent threats, and fake quotes.
Fake quote. Okay, now gossip. They got a law against gossip. Now here's the last clip I want to play, then we'll break. This is an actual, these are actual German police with guns busting into someone's house like it's the FBI going into Mar-a-Lago because someone posted a meme that was offensive to someone.
It's 6:01 on a Tuesday morning, and we were with state police as they raided this apartment in northwest Germany.
Oh my goodness,
Inside, 6 armed officers searched a suspect's home, then seized his laptop and cell phone. Prosecutors say those electronics may have been used to commit a crime. The crime, posting a racist cartoon online.
Wow, who's to say something's racist or not? A meme. So JD was right. What are we allied for anymore? What are we allied against? It sounds like we're allied with the people that we used to be allied against, right? Fascist, communist, Marxist. This isn't liberty. This isn't democracy. This isn't freedom. These are tyrants in Europe, and we shouldn't be part of NATO. Now, if you're on hold, stand by. We'll take our last break and be back. Hey there, I'm going to put you on hold. I'll be with you shortly. All right, we are back. My name's Brian. It's the Steve Kane Show, and it's time to check in with William Youngerman from the offices of William Youngerman Incorporated with the first gold and precious metals report of the week. Well, last week was wild, William Youngerman. How's this week starting?
Starting up right now, but after Friday's wild movement, trading in a range of a low of $2,875 and then ran all the way up to $2,936. Right up against the all-time record highs, and then sold off and closed off the day at the week at $28.8210. That was down $45.60. Not to be unexpected, because the markets, we've seen this do many times, and probably will do it again before we get through that that all-time record high of $29.45 and push towards that $3,000 number. We expect some resistance, but the markets are telling us that this is not the end. This is going much higher. So this is a great buying opportunity. Gold closing down $45.60 on Friday at $28.8210. Silver was down 14 cents at $32.13 the ounce, and got as high as $33 on Friday. Platinum closed down $23 at $9.74, and palladium was down $26 at $9.52. Overnight, we've seen gold trading in a range of $28.76 on the low, all the way up to $2,907. Right now, we're at $28.96, just under that $2,900 number, up $13.90. Silver up 12 cents at $32.25 the ounce. Platinum up $6 at $9.80, and palladium up $13 at $9.65. This will be a thin traded market today, as it's just strictly the world market. Our markets are closed, but we will be open today until 5 o'clock. So if you want to take advantage of any kind of dip we've seen, now would be a great day to do it.
Yeah, all right. And William Youngerman is located in Boca at 150 East Palmetto Park Road, just east of US 1 Federal Highway on the south side of the street. And you can give him a call. And remember, no matter where you're located in America, the world, you can do all your transactions over the phone if for whatever reason you can't make it into the shop in person. And that number is 1-800-327-5010, 1-800-327-5010. And find William Youngerman's phone number and address on his website, williamyoungerman.com. So you're open normal hours today, you said?
Yes, we are.
Okay, you heard that, guys. All right, take care. We'll talk tomorrow.
Okay, have a great day.
All right, we are back, and if you're on hold, hang in there. I want to tell you guys about the doorbell camera offer from Sloan. You know, I use this doorbell. You know, having a doorbell camera is amazing. You know, last week when I had that dryer delivered. I could see them right there on my phone, right out front. I knew they were there before they knew I knew they were there. It's really an amazing thing. You get a notification on your phone every time there's movement at your door, no matter where you are. Even when we're on our cruises, I can see the front of my house and get a notification anytime there's any movement at my front door or near it. And you can get a doorbell camera for free that connects directly to your cell phone with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Sloman's is also going to give you a free customized home security system and professional installation when you use their low-cost central station monitoring. You get an LED touchscreen, a motion detector, 10 contacts for the doors and windows, a lifetime warranty, and backup battery, plus you'll get a free doorbell camera with the installation of your Sloman Shield. Give them a call, 1-800-ALARM-ME. 1-800-ALARM-ME. That's 1-800-ALARM-ME. Okay, to our phones. I mean, I cannot be, you had to all be impressed by J.D. Vance, not just me, right? Okay, let's go. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is Never Tremper Steve in beautiful Palm City again, Brian. How you doing?
All right.
I wanted to talk about something else, but
Open phones is Friday. Open phones is Friday.
No, I understand. Yeah, both issues you've talked about today, but let me do the more recent one that you just mentioned, talking about freedom of speech. Do you believe we have freedom of speech in America?
There are some limitations.
Which such as?
Well, it depends. I mean, you can't, I'm not going to go through a list. This is not social studies. We're not going to eat up the clock. Just say what you mean. Don't try to be a host of a show and be entertained.
Okay.
You're not going to walk me down a garden path, okay?
Easy, Brian. Calm down.
I got a full board of calls, and you're not going to, just say what you want to say. We'll talk.
Okay, great. Because, Vice President Vance was giving a lecture on what freedom of speech means. And I'm sure you've heard on the news that the Associated Press has been barred from the White House because they don't want to say the Gulf of America instead of Gulf of Mexico. And the Associated Press is a worldwide publication.
That's a good example you gave, and I'll give you an answer. Their free speech has not been limited, and can the AP not report what they want to report?
Their ability to cover the White House has been limited by the fact that they're barred
Give
from
me
being
a break.
there.
No, excuse me. Being at the White House is a privilege. I'm a member of the press. Why am I not allowed there? Not everyone who's in the press can get in. You are granted the privilege of being there. So, no. What we're talking about what J.D. Vance was talking about, Steve, okay, is people are being arrested because they insult someone. That's a big difference. All right, there's a big difference in that. Yeah, go ahead.
Which leads to violence. It's not just if the speech leads to violence against someone.
No. You don't have excuse me. The offending someone or insulting someone is against the law in Europe. People get arrested for it, and they also seize your computers and phones and everything else, and they never give them back. That's not the same. The AP, no one's been arrested, and they can write and print whatever they want. They just have lost the privilege of being at the White House. You can cover the White House on TV.
That is a punishment of Trump saying, you're not going to listen to me.
Well, guess what? It's his house. Thank you very much for your call. Oh, my goodness. Well, you're supposed to let everybody in your house that wants in? I don't think so. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Once, twice. All right, you missed out. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. Good morning. JJ from
Hey, JJ. My goodness. What's on your mind?
This is, that right there, my goodness. This is, you know what? I can't, it's very hard to look at those numbers and not scream. I'm talking about the Social Security numbers.
Oh.
I mean, we have about, look, we got about 350 million people in our country, let's just say 300 million of them are on Social Security. There's 400 million.
Well, what my concern is they have about 10 million people that are over the age of 120. Okay? And what is the point of that? Where is that money? The numbers that are younger, I don't know. It doesn't, listen. when they're giving
the
people...
numbers don't add up at all. I know
no.
what you're saying up there, but Brian, we got 350 million people in our country, 300 million of them. If 300 million people were on Social Security, which I doubt, that would mean there's 100 million people getting money. There's 100 million accounts out there getting money that shouldn't be getting it.
Yes.
I mean, how many illegal aliens have assumed identities of dead people and are now receiving...
Who knows? And it's like I was talking.
That's where I'm thinking.
I was talking to a caller earlier. If they've got weirdo numbers like this on Social Security, what do you think the government federal pension plans are like?
More to come. It's. I mean, I don't think our country. I mean, as bad off as we're not. We may not be as horrifically bad off as I think we are because of the amount of. This is like these NGOs. Quite frankly, to me, they're like street gangs.
I mean, this story. I not tell you guys I had a lot to cover today, and I went through everything that I covered. I didn't even get to a tenth of my show prep. And I went through any one of these stories I could have spent the whole 3 hours on, and I went really quick through things today because, well, we did have a technical issue on my end, but other than that, there's so many big stories out there. How many of these judges have NGO? I mean, how many of these judges and their family members? How many tentacles? How many NGOs do they have? How many of the GS? 13. What's the process? This federal judge who's got NGO money coming in on this organization, how can he? What's the process to remove a judge from the bench pending an investigation? This judge is corrupt more so than Mershon, because he ruled on a case where he's getting money directly.
They're signing. They're allowing their own criminal behavior.
See, now I know. Last week they came up with that fake story about Elon with the $400 million fake deal on armored Tesla trucks because they knew this story about the judge was coming out, and they wanted to show that he's in. That's why there was so much talk last week from the press about, well, does Elon have a conflict? He takes government money because they knew the judge was about to be exposed.
Yeah, and that's just one judge. But how many judges? How many political people and their families? I mean, we know, like the Clintons.
They have two judges. Judges have ruled against what Doge is doing, right? Both of them get money from one's wife has an organization she gets USAID money from, and now the other one's got an NGO. Are you kidding me?
Do you remember the newscasters a few years back, Brian? Everybody was saying, there's just 1% to 2% corruption, like in the FBI, and there's only a couple. It's just the people here and there at the top. It's a hell of a lot more than 1% to 2%. I mean, when you got a judge that they rule on stuff that's benefiting their own pocket, you go back to the box seats for the one.
Well, those of you that are longtime listeners of the Steve Kane Show, remember Al C. Hastings. He was the United States Congressman he's passed away. He was the United States Congressman here in South Florida for many years. Before that, he was a federal judge appointed by President Carter. He was impeached and removed from the bench over a bribery scandal. He was a federal judge in Miami. And of course, since he's a Democrat and he was also black, he was part of the Black Caucus, he was able to run for Congress and spent the rest of his time serving in the Congressional Black Caucus alongside Congress people who impeached him, which means they thought he took a bribe on the bench, right? That's why they impeached him. Yep. I couldn't believe, And so, federal judges that are corrupt get impeached and removed from the bench. These judges need to be impeached and maybe arrested.
Well, I you know what? There's just our government is so big, Brian, and it's not like 1% to 2%.
Oh,
is corrupt in any one of these, all these different agencies. Everybody's brother's uncle's mother has a friggin' NGO.
Well, listen, I gotta run. We're at the end of the day, but appreciate the call. We have a full board of calls. We'll be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. And a lot of shocking stories. It really is. I mean, I know I went through these stories fast today, but that's just because there's so many and they're so important and they've got to be covered. My name's Brian Craig. This is Florida's longest-running radio show, The Steve Kane Show, on the radio since 1977, celebrating 48 years on the radio. Everyone, thanks so much. Don't forget, free shipping continues at MyPillow.com with our promo code Kane, site-wide. Save up to 80% off at checkout, plus free shipping at MyPillow.com with our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. Again, it's the Steve Kane Show. I'm Brian Craig. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. And those of you that are on hold, stand by. We'll be back tomorrow. You'll be first in line tomorrow. See you then. Take care. All right, we're clear. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much. I got to run early today because I've got a lot to do. But what happened earlier, I'll just give you guys a little background. Just lost my connection to the radio station at around 7:15. That's why we were off for a few minutes. That's it. And soon we got the connection reestablished, and boom, we were up. But thanks so much. Again, if you're new, make sure you subscribe, all right? Thanks, everyone, for watching. I'll see you. Take care.